Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Necrosis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 up here to the northwest, ending with Team 2 down here in the southeast. Starting off with the color orange player of Team 1, it is Johnny Jr. going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1300. To his north in royal purple, we have Ninthuk. That's how you say that. Going first air as a Cybran, and he is a 1200. In the regard, probably one of the most likely regard air slots here for Team 1. It is AF Felix going first land in Rust as a UEF, and he is a 1100. To the northeast here for Team 1, it is Zardos going first land in Batman Gray as a Cybran. He is a 1000 rated player. And last but not least here for Team 1 in Barbie Pink, it is Soul Ripper Noob going first land as a Seraphim, and he is a 1700, the highest rated player here for Team 1. Down here in the south here for Team 2, starting off with the Tropical Ocean Blue player of 10 Cat. Going first land as a Cybran, he is a 1000 rated player. To his east in Stitch Blue, we have Trigram for Heaven going first land as a Seraphim, and he is a 1000 rated player as well. To his northwest in Emerald Green, very sensible choice here for this player of Matchery, going second land as a Cybran. He is a 1700, the highest rated player here for Team 2. Already on the move here for Team 2, we have Babel going second land as well in Chevy Crimson as a Seraphim. He is a 1400. And last but not least here for Team 2, it is Hell Virus going first land, I think second air, most likely due to his movement. And he is in Ruby Red, and he is an Aeon, and he is an 1100. That is everybody here in this game. Team 1, for racial makeup, they have 2 Seraphim, 2 Cybran, and 1 UEF. No Aeon Tech here for Team 1. And for Team 2 down here, we have 2 Seraphim, 2 Cybran, and 1 Aeon. So they do not have access to UEF Tech, and Team 1 does not have access to Aeon Tech. Let's go ahead and see what the mass reclaim is looking like right now. We have 21,000 mass. That's a decent chunk. It's not a heck of a lot, but it is a decent chunk here, at least for some of our frontline players. And in terms of mexes that will probably be fought over, well, honestly, there's not that many. I mean, there's a couple here in the middle, but they're kind of respectively on either side of the game in terms of the map layout. I mean, there's a couple 1s and 2s kind of in the thin middle line here. But I really don't see anywhere it's going to be super contested over. I feel like there's going to be more incursions into enemy battle lines versus just trying to fight over a group of mexes in the middle of the map. But who knows, some players could be more defensive or aggressive and get better grabs on the land here early on. Move this away. We don't need that right now. Looks like we have all of the players, but the player of Inthuk and I'm going to call him Felix for short. They're going to stay in their bases, at least for now. They are the rearguard air slots for Team 1. And for Team 2, all of the comms have left their bases. Does look like it's going to be kind of a 2v1 scenario here, 2 versus 1 here in favor of Team 2. Same thing here to the northeast, but it does look like... Oh, actually, no. It does look like Team 1's going to have 2 players here to the east and no one in the middle. That might be a huge advantage here for the player of Matchery here, just going to go straight up the middle here. There's also a couple of scouts kind of just roaming around the map. But honestly, if Team 1 doesn't plug this hole sooner than later, we have the combo of Matchery with his forces are just going to push right on through. Kind of a oversight there for Team 1. You would figure they'd have somebody going down the middle like that, but they don't, which is kind of surprising, honestly. Comms just moving out to the northeast here for Zardos and for the player of Hell Virus. He'll get to that collection of mexes before his opponent will. So really the only place that Team 1 doesn't have any comm or any sort of focused fire is in this middle kind of, alleyway, whatever you want to call this right here. So we'll have to watch out to see if there's any big plays along the middle. There has to be, just because there's no comm guarding this section of the map, at least for now. Gun speed and range going down here for Felix in the rear guard. That's kind of weird. If he's not going to be on the front lines, why build gun? I feel like that's kind of a waste, honestly. We do have the first sort of fighting here with a couple of units out here from the player of Babel, fighting the units out here from Soul Ripper. Soul Ripper trying to hold them off. Doesn't have enough to really do so, but he does have his comm, and he'll start using that more aggressively to help assist in defenses. We have, of course, Babel here in the middle of the map, just kind of just hanging out. It's taking a siesta, soaking in all those juicy rays from the sun or whatever solar system they're in. We have the comm of Hellvirus kind of hanging out. Same thing. Comms are just kind of just hanging out on Team 2 side of things. Not really doing much of, anything. They're kind of just standing there being all stoic. I think stoic's the right word for that, what they're doing. You can tell Team 2's comms are essentially along just south of this center line here, going, northeastwardly. And I don't see Team 1 really doing the same thing. They have, of course, a group of units out here from Thok, or NY, I'm going to call them NY for short. And they are kind of starting to patrol these mechs here to the southwest, but he doesn't have his comm here. And I'll give 1-0 Cat a nice advantage because his, comms are very powerful. They just are. They're 20 tanks worth of damage. Not damage, hit points. I think it's hit points. They equate to about 20 tanks worth of combat prowess. So at least starting off, T2 on the way here for Soul. Same thing here for Zardos here in the northern corner of the map. But we have Babel under threat from some Mantis here. Not really a huge threat for him. We'll take some hit point damage, but we'll rep him up nice and tightly for his first upgrade to not tier 1, but 1-star commander. But it does look like Johnny kind of taking a back seat to NY's units here. He's just kind of, built some X's and then just going to retreat backward. We do have a couple of units out here from Trigram. They're going to sit here. Maybe that's what... Oh, it does look like that is what Junior is after. But he's going to build a mechs right here, so I'm interested to see what he does with that. Team 1 has walled off this section in the middle. Very smart move. We don't really see any movement out here from the player of Felix. He's going for T2 as well. And so there's really no use to have any units go that direction. So might as well wall it off and just kind of mess with pathing here for Team 2. Decent sized group of units here for Babel. Approaching this eastern side of units here from Soul. Soul is still on that upgrade. Wants to hold off as long as possible so you can start building those T2 Utashalas, who are very effective at taking out T1 units. But a small contingent of forces are pushing against the column of Trigram here to the south. He does have a small group of forces for himself, but I don't think this is enough to really take out Trigram here in the southern portion of the map. The comm of NY needed to be with these forces to really make a huge dent. And now you can see with that gun upgrade here from Tri, he's able to push these forces back quite far. We are seeing one bomber come in, but again, one bomber is not the end-all be-all for damage, especially from the T1 variety. To the northeast, forces still fighting back and forth. They're just really skirmishes at this point. I don't see a huge push to take out one thing or the other. But Zardos is not upgrading, but he's getting T2AA online. Nice little fire base up here to the north. Kind of out of the way. Team 2 can easily just go around that. So, not really the best positioning for that. I would figure he might have put something maybe here to the east. But, honestly, forces are going to come and collide. But the comm is here, and he'll be able to deal with that right quick. T2 upgrade actually has stopped. Has not completed it as of yet. Maybe he's dealing with a mass issue. No, he has mass. He has energy. He's just not... Okay, there he goes. He activated again. Maybe he was struggling for a minute, but there he goes. That T2 upgrade finishes. Really a nice grab. I would like for him to maybe put some artillery here on the ridge just to help push back Team 2. But then again, maybe he'll just build some PD. Match resets Zardos to everyone so he can speak to Zardos directly. Don't know what that's about. But in terms of units here for NY, he is really covering this western side, making up for the fact that his comm is still sitting in his main base. Really trying to just push a lot of production out on this southern side. We do see T2 units out here from Johnny Jr. These Ilshis are going to run into Tribe. He's going to lead his forces for his team. Just go right out there. Some radar signatures. Nice little vision going on. Thams and Ilshi's going to charge into that comm. There's still not enough damage coming off of these units to really make a difference. I feel like Johnny is just, I don't know, distracting his opponent. I really don't know, but he's just feeding his opponent mass at this point, or at least veterancy. But a split here in NY's forces will come and at least distract the units here with a player of 1-0 cat and go deep and try to take out maybe some backline mexes. But again, there is a PD here. There's a couple PDs here. These forces have to be aware of that. Of course, T1 PD is not super damaging, but it's very quick. Like, it fires a lot faster than T2 PD, so you can take out T1 units right quick. We do see, again, like I mentioned earlier, Team 2's players of Hell and Babel just split the difference between these two fire bases for Team 1 and are just going to push westwardly, and that's a huge hole that they have to deal with. The comm of Soul Ripper going for more Ilshis. We do see that PD, and we see a TMD. That comm, I mean, he's fine for now, but a very far forward T2 radar installation, I don't know. I feel like he might be pushing a little bit too far forward. We are in the 12-minute stage of the game. We should see T3 tech here pretty soon. I see T3 land tech, no air tech as of yet. It is on the way here for Team 2. Team 1 is just about starting that upgrade and hasn't started it yet. Kind of a little bit behind in the air game as of yet. But we do see, again, Babel going to push on this base. And now that hill, really struggling. He should have put it here. Would have had a better sight line for it. You can see he just can't get a shot off. You got to watch out for that when you're building PD, especially with direct fire, is that they need to see the target and have a clear line of sight. And if they can't do that, then they're kind of useless. We do see artillery firing over the hill. They don't need to see their target, just have a radar signature essentially, or vision, one of the two. You can see PD being assaulted by Aurora and Fervors. The Fervors are being taken out by Zooey. We also have some Ilshis coming in to assist as well, so the player of Soul Ripper will hold that base, but could have been a lot more effective at taking that position out. But we see a PD creep coming in here from Zardos, trying to make his way southward. That's actually a pretty good move, just trying to cut a line straight and a lock Team 2 out of sections of the map. Always a good idea. But that force out here from NY was able to cut through, take out a couple of mexes, but not really a lot of lasting damage, though. If it was just a distraction, I would understand, but I don't really see any gain from it. You just dropped not a lot of mass, but you just dropped a lot of forces just to kind of hang out, essentially, and die. We are seeing T2 units come off the production line here for NY. A lot of these deceivers, and there's a banger, and now there's a rhino. But T1 forces of this size can deal with a couple T2 units, so tech is not everything if you are severely outnumbered. And in terms of comms, everyone is alive at 14 minutes, knock on wood, if they last till 20. But there's a lot of intel installations here for both teams. One of them just kind of hanging out on the sides of the cliff being like, hey, what you doing? I see you down there, kind of thing. But it is very important to get intel. You need to know what's going on the enemy side. You need to know where they're moving, why they're moving, all of those sort of things. I mean, building three radars right next to each other isn't necessarily the best idea. It is an early warning system for sure, but You could probably have foregoed maybe this one and just stuck with the one on the left and the right. Not really worth the energy to keep it online. It's only 20, but, you know, early on it does make a difference. Rhinos are trying to intercept these THAMs and other units here from Team 2. The Rhinos are able to put out a decent amount of DPS, and they are pretty tanky, so a lot of these will not get through. And even if they do, we have forces from Johnny coming in to assist as well. So not really a huge push out here from Team 2. Kind of a lot of failed pushes here in the beginning. There's a little bit of a push, and then they all die. And then there's a little bit of a push on the other side, and they all die. We do have Otham starting to prowl around the map here for Team 1's play of Soul Ripper. And that is very effective, dodging all those fervor shots as well as dealing massive damage to everything here. Another one starting to make its appearance. And this is a huge gain here by Team 1. They have the technology, and not only do they have it, they're using it, and they are producing Othams like it is going out of style. Look at all those. We have 5 Othams here so far. This force of Team 1 will not be able to deal with this. Team 2 really needs to get into that T3 air game, and they have. And they're building, I think that's a... no, that's a bomber, right? I mean, it looks like it. It's hard to tell without its shape. I'm more used to what the aircraft look like versus what their, and like in terms of their models versus what their pictures look like. But Othams try to pierce that front line, and they do take out a couple of units, but there's a decent amount of PD in the mix as well. And of course they are Uthashalas. They are pretty effective. They're not like the best for taking out T3 units, but they do a decent amount of damage. And there's also a mix of Team 1 as well. So they're able to hold off a couple of these Othams and force them back. Team 1 needs a little bit more shields and probably a little more artillery just to deal with this. But we are seeing some sort of confrontation here to the north. Zardos is just kind of hanging out, building more PD as time goes on. He's taking out that T2, actually it's right here, T2 radar installation, but a Corsair bombing is on its way against Babel. Babel has dropped into the red. It's up 2,500 hit points. One more pass will kill him. Team 2 needs that air, and they need it now. And there it goes. More missiles being launched. Sub 400 hit points. Dodges that set. Oh, gets hit. Oh, but that is a kill here for Team 1. Dropping this game to a 5v4 in their favor. Nice job by NY getting that kill. He didn't send his comm forward, but what he has made up, he's able to get that snipe out and then be able to start hammering this southern side. Trying to just alleviate some pressure off of Zardos here. We do have a sniper bot here in the corner. Trying to just whittle down these PD and units, but he is going to be not thrusted away, shooed away by these rhinos out here from Zardos as well. Mid is busted. Otham, says Babel. Well, you could have pushed the middle a long time ago, but decided not to. But we have a T3 strap bomber on the cause here for Team 2. They're going for something. They take out a T2 Mechs or fully ringed. Great grab there so far, but it's dropped into the yellow already. ASFs are called to deal with it. Another bomb does not drop, so not really mass efficient with that one. Does get a kill with the T2 Mechs, but that is it. It's not really worth one drop bomber though. You need about, I think it's 3 fully ringed to make it worth your mass cost. I think it's 3. Maybe it's 4. I can't remember. 3 or 4. But just 1 Mechs is not the end of the world. We have missiles. Actually, that's artillery, not missiles, launching from this Gunther here. But an Otham might just be able to deal with that by itself. There is Team 1 and T2 PD. They're targeting the shields first. And I think they're going to target the Cerberus turret first. I don't know, because it's trying to do... oh, that gets killed anyway. 1 Otham is not enough to take out a Cerberus and a couple of auto guns. We have a monkey online for Team 2 at 19 minutes. That's actually pretty early for a monkey. Usually it's about 25 or so. It's good to see that unit out on the field pretty early, and maybe it'll just be, it'll just be shoved down Team 1's throats in sort of revenge plan. But we do have a couple of Othams with assisting lightning tanks. Restorers trying to do what they can. They've taken out the lightning tanks, and now these Othams have no AA protection. They're just going to die outright. Should have just gone for this base at that point. They're trying to go deeper in But it's not really going to matter once this Autumn dies. There's 2 more back here. Another one gets sniped out of existence. There's only 1 more remaining. But unfortunately, it's not really going to go Team 1's way of Soul Ripper. But Zardos has essentially contained Team 2 and is starting to move southward on this eastern edge. We have a base for Hell Virus here. A nice forward operating base here with a couple of PD. Decent amount of production facilities. I don't see any AA in the mix in terms of PD, but I do see a TMD, so at least they'll have protection in that realm of fire. But we do have that Monkey Lord starting to push against this central line. There's a Utashala trying to do what it can. It's trying to rebuild a mechs as well, but it's just going to walk over this wall, not really care what's going on with it. There it goes, crushing it to death. And it will get pinged by Team 1, so Team 1 obviously knows about it, or at least have made a comment about it now. And I feel like it's just kind of, it's base wars, but it's not really base wars. We have missiles launching at this position. They're targeting the T2. Is that a headquarters? I don't know if that was a headquarters. They took it out. Oh, there's one back here. So maybe they just took out the T2 land factories to reduce enemy units on the front line. But that Monkey Lord is essentially all by its lonesome, regardless of, or not regardless, but without friendly units and without enemy units trying to attack it. We have 1 Corsair en route, but that's it. And that AA gun on that monkey isn't a lot, but it can deal some damage given time. Team 1 needs an answer to this. They have a couple gunships en route from Team 1's player of Felix, but I don't know if it's really going to save a lot of these mexes here for Soul Ripper. He needs some defenses, and he needs it now. There is a line of Utashalas and more shields coming online as time goes on. Those Bronzers do pack a punch. Yep, they're designed to take out high single fire target, or high health targets, versus the Whalers and the Restorers. But there it goes. Combined effort by Team 1 does take it out before it reaches the main base here for Soul Ripper. Nice scooping up of that mass will be online here pretty soon. Does look like Zardos has kind of retreated a little bit. Doesn't want to push this position just yet. Team 2 has a nice little horde, nice little grouping of the sniper bots from the Seraphim faction. Kind of just hanging out, waiting to be launched at their enemy targets. You can see the range on these things. You know, it's not bad. It's pretty decent. And it does look like there's some radar trying to stay online, I think, because that's why everything keeps disappearing. No, that's not. It just looks like it is. Okay. I don't see any other movement. There is another Monkey Lord here from Team 2. Matry just pumping out experimentals at this point. The comm of Johnny is under threat, trying to make it out of there. That monkey is trying to catch up to him as fast as he can. The shields on the monkey assisting from these T3 Seraphim variety are doing a lot of work preventing early damage on this experimental. This monkey might catch up to the comm. The monkey is going in kind of a north kind of direction versus the comm, which is kind of going in like a northwest direction. But Autumn's assisting this monkey is going to severely help the survivability of it, but it does look like it is trying to chase down the comm. Pings go down, movement. We have a bunch of Corsairs en route, taking a chunk of hit points out of that monkey. Of course, they need to fly around and get another pass in. But the comm, I think, might escape if it goes this direction, which it does. The Monkey Lord just completely ignoring it. Don't push without AA, says Babel. But we also have gunships on approach here as well. There's no AA in the mix except for the one on the monkey, so really none. And it will take a little bit the truth of the hit points and shields here for Team 1, but that Monkey Lord is on fire and does not look good. It is in the red. Units in coming from the west here from the player of NY. And there goes that Monkey Lord, going to crush some friendly Autumns. And now it's just death here for them. Team 2 was trying to push with the rest of their units, but it's not really going well for that. 2 monkeys have died. Not really a lot of work. I mean, they took out frontline positions, but they're in Team 1's territory, and they don't have any way to grab that territory. from them. So essentially, it's not a mass dump necessarily, but essentially it's a mass dump. A couple of optims taking out some Aurora and other units just kind of hanging out in this valley area, kind of doing some patrol routes. Does look like there's a group of them trying to puncture through. There are a couple of T3 mechs that can be under threat from these Aurora. I don't see any fervors in the mix. Kind of a missed opportunity. Oh, no, there's a couple of fervors. I was going to say, it is a missed opportunity. You could take out some mechs pretty early. Not early, but, with a lot of damage from the artillery. Some of these Cerberus turrets are kind of in range. I do like the just not even haphazard. I mean, they're kind of haphazardly, but just kind of spread out. The Cerberus turrets are. It allows for them to cover a nice range of things. But Sniper Bot's trying to push against the army here to the northeast for Zardos. And it's doing a decent job of it. There are a bunch of Sniper Bots. They're just pummeling on Team 1. There's even some bricks in here. So Team 1's player Zardos needs to move these. And even if they move them, once Team 2 notices, and a nuke is launched here by Matry here in the middle. And where is this going to go, I wonder? I think Soul would be the nice target. No, it's not. It's going after the air grid here for Felix. Feels like he knows it. The SMD has been built but isn't loaded. Actually, that's not a comm. That is a RASCOM that's moving here for Team 1's player of Soul. That's on a transport going somewhere. Here, Autumn Fire. We'll check that out in a second. The comm of Felix is trying to move out of the way. Nice little air grid. It does have a central shield. I love to see that, but is going to go up in smoke. Takes out a huge section of his mass production facilities, and of course his air grid is gone entirely. Nice placed nuke here by Team 2. Brings them back in at least in terms of the air game for now. And if you've been enjoying the cast so far, please like and comment down below. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button, I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, kaboom for everybody who loves to hear me say that when a nuke goes off. But it does look like there might be some more concerted effort to go after the nuke here for Team 2. It is very deadly. And just Team 1 either needs to build a bunch of SMD and cancel it or take it out. So definitely going to be a high value target here for them. Units firing at one another as they fly, as they roll or hover, or I don't know what you would say for tracking, for like units like on a track like a tank, but moving back, skitter around the map, just kind of going back and forth. It does look like those units here from NY will push more southwardly to kill these units here from Team 2's play of 1-0 Cat. Still a very interesting name that it's 1-0 Cat. Is it like 10 cats? Is it 1 cat? Because I guess 0-1 would be 1 cat. So I don't know what the story is with 10 cats. But a RASCOM, Advanced Combat Preset, or RamboCom, is just running around the map here for Team 2. Very aggressive. It's going to run into a Monkey Lord. Not going to last very long, unfortunately. 265 hit points on that chassis, though. You can see the shots coming off of the monkey, or from the monkey. It will catch up to it eventually, but does have the overcharge ability on those advanced preset commanders here. I mean, they're essentially Rambos. They're Rambos, but they're not called Rambos. It is starting to fire on the monkey. The laser does open up. It will kill the RamboCom. It would have been better just to send it against this base. I don't like this base is getting ignored, and there's T2 mexes. There's a T3 land headquarters. There's a lot here that Team 1 could take out. They're just not focusing on that, which is kind of weird. And in terms of eco, Team 1 is in the lead with eco at 1.4 thousand mass per second versus 1.4 versus 1.1, 1.2 for Team 2. And in totals, Team 1 is winning. They're at over 1 million mass total accrued versus essentially almost 1 million. So it's not exactly 100,000, but it's close. And Team 2 needs to fight in that arena to get back in this game with mass. They took out the air grid, which is a great move. Now they need to take out something else. Team 1 going to start pumping out SMDs, though, so you got to really choose your targets wisely. I feel like this base would be good to take out here for Team 2 against Soul Ripper. Stealth going on the way here for Matry. Maybe he'll go for Nano next. But a large force of units surrounding a chicken in the middle here. Team 1 is sorely unprepared. They have some units of their own, but not really a whole lot. They don't have their own experimental, so it's going to be very difficult to chew through those hit points. They're building a chicken as we speak, which will intercept them eventually, but the movement order has been given. We have sniper bots firing back and forth, but those sniper bots will not be able to puncture the thick hide of a chicken. And that chicken is just going to walk forward, not caring what's in its way. The guns open up, and there it goes. The order has been given to retreat, but it's too little too late on that front. The chicken is in range. It does not care if they're leaving. The rapid fire nature, the slow firing nature, and the medium fire nature of these guns just pummeling into Team 1's forces. They are not going to go quietly into the night. Or they will go quietly into the night. But the group of gunships is just going to get annihilated by ASF and lightning tanks. Trying to do some damage onto the chicken, but it's not going to matter. ASF fight here for Team 1 and Team 2. It does look like Team 1 will get air control, but there's a lot of lightning tanks and AA in the mix here, so very dangerous for Team 1 to sit their ASFs over top for long periods of time. Another nuke will launch. Where does it go? It's going to go for the base here for Team 1's player of Johnny. And there is an SMD nearby. It is not loaded, and there's a lot of build power here, so that position is going to fall fairly quickly, though. But honestly, it would have probably gone. It probably would have been killed off anyways, just due to the massive amounts of units here. There's a lot of tanks here. Even if they kill the chicken, there'd be a lot of DPS to deal with here. That nuke will land. Kaboom! Takes out 6 mexes here for Johnny. Actually, that's not. Wait, no, that's Johnny, yeah. Sometimes the Seraphim colors, the way that it mixes with the color scheme, kind of throws me off. But it's chicken versus chicken, but it's chicken and Othams versus only a chicken, and it only goes really one way. Well, I guess there are Corsairs in the way, or on the way, so that does help. I think the chicken will be just a murder-suicide situation here. There it goes. Othams get the kill. And the other chicken gets the kill. Ion Storms will open up in the middle of 2 sets of Othams. And that's a lot of damage coming off of that Ion Storm. Othams don't know where to go. They're trying to get away from this one. They do get away, but this one's just pummeling into these Othams. That's what I love about the chicken, is even if you kill it, it can kill you. You got to be very aware of that. Run from lightning, says Babel. Well, yeah, you got to do that. You got to run away from the lightning. What's going to strike you and kill you? But this position is starting to be very, very built up here for Matry. Going for laser. Interesting, he went for stealth and then going for laser. But that third nuke is almost online. 114,000 mass already killed in 2 nukes. That's very effective. That's a very mass efficient nukage here for Team 2. Matry trying to push with his sniper bots here to the east. Looks like there was a Monkey Lord at one point. It's gone now, but there was one. I hear Otham fire or something going on. It's over here to the west. A couple of these renegades trying to deal with these AA units and T1 tanks. Another one of these advanced combat preset commanders trying to just hold off enemy forces. They will deal with that, but there's still a force of engineers on its way. They're going to scoop up this one chicken, and then they'll probably go for the other one. I don't think they'll get the other one, but at least they'll get the mass that they put into the chicken. So, it's not the worst thing. Getting your mass back that you spent is always a good idea. But a crab has been completed here for Matry, and it's very orange. It's kind of hard. It's kind of funny because it's in the hologram silhouette of the crab, and so it gives it a very, very orange glow, but it's gone now. That'll be a nice defensive move by Team 2's player of Matry. Maybe put it on the hillside over here and just park it and wait. Chicken by Trigram, trying to just warn his teammates of the impending threat. He does have a group of Othams on retreat, though. He does have his own chicken down here as well. Team 1 really needs to get their game rolling with assisting units for the experimentals, because sending them in by the lonesome is not the best idea. Chicken is getting a nice bang for his buck, though, killing off Othams at range. But Team 1's player of NY has not been able to take this position as of yet. He's been struggling to take it over, but 1-0 Cat has been very tenacious in holding it. Group of bombers on their way, probably to go deal with the chicken. They're only T1 though, so they're not a huge threat. But again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. So he's building more chickens in his main base. I don't see any efforts to win the game. I see efforts to sustain current plays, or at least get some more land under their control. But I don't see any, artillery plays. Oh no, never mind. I do see one right here. So, oh, and by the way, it is much better to build T3 pigeons. I know it's a huge risk because they're volatile explosions. But you get more bang for your buck out of those than you do just T1 pigeons. So, just a side note on that build order there. But a huge amount of bombers are on their way. ASF's coming to assist in defense as well. Does look like Team 2's player of Hellvirus does have the lion's share of the ASFs. And he even has restorers too, so that helps a ton with taking out enemy air units. But Team 1 Bombers is the name of the game here. They want to kill off the chicken before the chickens meet. I think that's the goal here. And so the Iron Storm. But Zadas is defeated by Matchery. Sniper Bomber run here by Team 2 drops this game back to an even game of 4v4. We have Rambo Preset Commanders here going to engage the forces here from Team 2's player of Trigram. And I think it's going to go the way of Team 2, especially with all of these bombers constantly dropping in all the time. But the chicken does fall, and it's going to fall for Team 1 as well. So, even if the Ion Storm, yep, there it goes, it's dead. So the Rambo comms do fall back. But that was a nice move here by Team 2's player of Matchery. Kind of coasts in from the edge and then comes and snipes Zardos. That prompts his units to push forward. That's a lot of sniper bots though, and they really can't get out of range here pretty quickly, especially with artillery going to just pummel them. It probably wasn't the best idea, but another nuke does launch. It's going to take out this position. Good position to take out. You have Mexes, you have T3 land facilities as well. Crab's going to be pushing that here pretty soon as well, so the nice open pocket for him to just kind of just go through. There's actually two experimentals, a monkey and a crab. Well, all those forces here from Team 2's player of Trigram are forced back by this horde, I should say this brick wall of bricks charging forth. That's a chunky thing to get through for Team 2. And all Team 1's player of NY has to do is just keep his bangers nearby. Bangers? Yeah, bouncers. They're T3 bouncers. And just shove it down their throats, which he's kind of doing, but not really. He needs to move them just keep them essentially in the middle of the group. But they're going to start charging through the front lines here. PD are going down. Shields are going down. Land factories are under threat here. They're only T1, but this one's T3, so would like to keep that online here for Team 2, though. ASF called forth to help assist in air defenses, but lightning tanks just eviscerate all those ASFs, though. No, it's not really great, and the chicken will help deal with defenses on the ground as well. So it was a good move by NY, but Team 2 still holding out, and now there's a huge open pocket for Team 2 to just shove on through. Monkey Lord coming to intercept those AA units while a group of Cybern forces are starting to push the northwestern side of this hill. The nuke did land. Kaboom! Takes out that section of the map, and the two experimentals are on their way. A couple of those Rambo preset commanders trying to get out of range of the crab guns, but the crab has range, and they're just going to get annihilated. Team 1 is bleeding everywhere. Up here, over here to the east, and in the middle as well. They've been bleeding here for a long time. Does they have an idea to end the game? I see a crab being built. That's not going to end the game. Chickens aren't going to end the game. At least singularly. We have more crabs being built. They're going to probably intercept those crabs here from Team 2. I don't see any efforts to end the game back here. So really, Team 2, they have that artillery. Still haven't built it yet, but are getting there. It's taking them a minute, but doesn't matter how long it takes you to win the game, just as long as you win the game, right? Bricks in this narrow corridor against bricks here for Team 1. It's going to go Team 2's way. Monkey Lord cutting off any sort of retreating units, taking out some combat preset commanders. Not really a whole lot of damage coming off those. They need the overcharge ability to reset, but a nice squadron or two of restores here in the middle, providing a nice group of additional AA and hit points. The ASFs for the Aeon only have 1,700 hit points, but these have 6,000. So, what is that? A little over triple the hit points. They have decent AA on their chassis, so very effective AA units here for Team 2. But Crab versus some I keep saying Rascals, but Rambo comms and gunships. That's a lot of mass here for Team 1 to scoop up. They need to get on that right away, funnel it into other pursuits. And we just have a constant just Rambo comms just traversing the map everywhere, making life difficult here for Team 2. This is a nice group of restorers that can easily be targeted, but I don't think Team 1 really has the air forces to really do that, or risk to do that, I should say. They are going to intercept these advanced combat preset commanders. That's Rambo comms. I keep saying that, but they're Rambo comms. We have a Crab versus a Colossus with a bunch of... Oh, no, don't do that. Turn it back around. Oh, don't turn it around. That's not a good idea. Ton of Corsairs en route to take out that Colossus that I see would have been dead by now. And there it goes. A lot of hit points that could have been avoided here. ASFs collide with Restorers here for Team 1 and Team 2. Restorers, the main target, question mark. Oh, they're dealing a decent amount of damage to their air forces, but Team 2's player of Trigon comes in with assisting forces. There's not really a lot of AA in the mix here. Oh, there's a couple of flak and SAM sites, but that megalith is going down. It is going to take a little bit just due to the fact that restorers suck at shooting anything on the ground. But you know, it's still going to chew through it though, eventually. But it is going to take a minute. Corsair's just going to hide up here to the north. It does look like Team 2 is going to be very oppressive with their air forces, and the strats take out the SMD here for Team 1's player of Soul Ripper. Nice opening created by those strat bombers. That's definitely worth the risk of any ASFs, and that nuke will launch, and that nuke will land. An air grid was being built by Soul Ripper, but that is going to go the way of the dinosaur. I mean that, I know it's going to take out some mexes. His base is very disconjointed. It's very decentralized, so not everything's going to go up in one explosion, but it is still going to hurt nonetheless. I don't see anything really else here on the movement game here for both teams. There it goes. It's going to land. Oh, it got shot down. It got shot down by this one. It must have just come into range. I thought he was a goner. Oh, yeah, he just came into range. Look at that. Ooh, that was close. SMD says Babel. Yep, he points it out right there. That has got to hurt. Oh, I thought that was going to land. I didn't even notice that one. Another nuke land. Another nuke will be launched. This time it's going for this position just short. That is not in range. Oh, just it might be. It might be. We'll have to see. I think that SMD might have that covered though, but just barely. Crabs moving in to the east here from Team 1's player of Sulfur. He's doing massive crab pushes, but an Awasha is going to stop that booping right quick. Here it goes, incoming. Takes out a chunk of hit points against that megalith. Team 1 needs to respond to that quickly. That nuke got shot down, but the artillery is now online. Actually, what? No. Was it a missile? Another strat bomber rush on the cards here for Team 2. Strat bomber raid rush. Snipe. That's the word for it. There goes that first crab. The second one will try to move out of the way. Oh, that's a horde. That is a horde of ASS protecting this thing. Look at this thing. It has like a fanfare behind it. That fat boy is severely under threat. There it goes. There goes the bomb. Impacts the shield. It's gonna be fine for now, but it's gonna hurt really soon. It's gonna go around for another pass though. It'll impact the shields. I don't think it'll kill it. think it should be fine. I think it's the third pass is when it kills the fat boy. Awasha taking some lightning fire. There goes the second bomb. It just barely took some hit point damage. And starting to take some AA fire from nearby units. We have 2 more chickens to the west here. Team 2 really needs to be aware of enemy movements because that thing can die pretty quickly. But look at this. Look at Team 2's push here by 1-0 Cat, starting to just invade everything that Team 1 owned on the western side. It's being pushed back by a crab, but still, it's doing a decent job of just keeping the enemy busy here while Matry does a lot of the, I wouldn't say heavy lifting, but he does a decent amount of work. And it's, I think that's artillery. It looks like a missile. That's T2 artillery, not T3. But 2 crabs versus 1 colossus only goes one way. And bangers, I keep thinking bangers, bouncers nearby, taking out hordes of restorers. Again, not really looking good for those restorers. They need to get out of there quickly. It's not really worth it. And there goes the crab, gets a rank of veterancy. Sniper bots trying to assist. Sniper bots do a lot of damage, but of course they are super weak as a result. And so those crabs are able to just constantly push them. Just one shot and they're dead. I don't know why this crab is retreating though. Doesn't really need to. I take out the sniper bots that just stop dealing with them. They're very annoying. Maybe nuke crabs. I mean, maybe. Don't. There is another chicken and another crab on its way and another one on its way. So 4 crab potential here for Team 1's player of Soul Ripper. He's on 2 bases. We haven't taken a look. Actually, he's on 3 bases, technically from Junior. But now the artillery starts to rain in here from Team 2. There it goes. It is from Matry. This is a huge base that Team 1 needs to deal with. Artillery, nuke, essentially experimental producing facility as well. The comm is here. So, Team 1 really needs to take this position out. I don't see any other efforts. There's another nuke down here. That's half loaded. Don't really see anything else. The donut is online here for Team 2. Provided a lot of air defenses. All we need is the bug, and we have all the experimental air units in the game. Don't count the Novax. The Novax is not an experimental air unit. But that air grid just got wiped out for Team 1's player of Soul Ripper. All his ASF are right here, and they're going to die to Team 2's Trigrams ASFs. And it's not good. Engage. There they go. They're going to turn around. Oh, you turned around. That's not great. It's not really going well, but they are making a lot of progress here on the ground game. Their air game isn't as great here for Team 2, but the ground game, Strap Bombers constantly running over the map, going after, I think, experimentals would be my guess. Chickens on the ledge here, just constant bombardment all the time. We have a lot of effort to take out this position once again here from Team 1. We have Team 2 pushing up from on these western approach. We have, of course, the Awasha. And we have all 3 air units in the game right here. Look at that. We have all of them on the map currently for the same team. You hardly ever see all 3 of them. And that Awasha is going to turn around. Variety is the spice of life. And there it goes. Kaboom! Takes out that chicken. Nice placement here by Team 2's player of a try. We have some ASFs coming into the Tsar. It does not die. It's actually going to switch targets for that one. That one will die. Good thing I got a couple of screenshots before that Awasha died into the hillside there. This Tsar not being dead is a huge mistake. Could have easily killed that, but oh, the chicken killing some air units. It's always rough to see ground units taking out air units. But just Strat Bomber Central constantly here by Team 2's player of Matchery, using those just aggressively and defensively. And they're trying to make their way. One of the crab has already died. A chicken dies as well. I think that was actually from Team 2. Yeah, that's from Team 2. Look at the bombs. Just look at them constantly take on all those hit points. This is nuts. Just so many strap on. We have 17 just buzzing around these couple experimentals. no work is really going to get done here. There goes the crab. Maybe that T3 landed quarters will go down. But honestly, even if they lose that, it's not a huge issue. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, no, it's gone. We have some Rambos back here trying to build some AA. It's not going to work. There they go. They're all dead. Did not last very long. ASF's called forth from Team 1's player of NY to deal with these strap bombers, but there's so many of them, and ASFs are guarding them. It's very difficult. A horde of gunships, a horde of bombers being built here by Trigram. But we have counter artillery here from Team 1 up here to the north. Though it's 1v1 it looks like, but artillery is firing at artillery. So maybe they're locked in. Current moment. No, they're going after air grid, I think. But that push to the west here from Team 2 is working very well. A couple of Soul Rippers and a couple of ground units. AA is being built to deal with these, but not as fast as probably Team 1 should be doing it. They are called back to deal with those. Man, Team 2 is holding strong, though. This position is still hanging in there. Matchery has not moved for a very long time. I would not be surprised to see some telemeasures at some point. The artillery, I think it's about 50-50 here. It needs more shielding. Same thing can be said about Team 2's artillery position. It needs more shielding. But we do have a bunch of hives to assist with regenerating the shield, so it's not the worst thing. But the artillery pretty much just targeted Trigram's air grid, and that's all gone now. He still has the air facility and the air headquarters, but that's it. He's building his own Hovatham, and he doesn't even have shields that are still online. That is not a good idea. And is building a YOLO. Right. Okay, please don't build your YOLO right next to a PGen. Please. It's not good for it. Explosions are not good for YOLOs. At least right next to them. Unit cap, says Felix. That might be... Oh, no, 10,000. Each player gets 1,000, but once players die, they essentially are given more. But it's usually just an error. It usually fixes itself. I've seen that in a Phantom game before. The shields are down. There's 2 artillery. Ooh, the shields aren't coming back online quick enough. Does he have power issues? He does have power issues. That is not good. He needs to build them right quick, or that artillery is going to crush. Oh, the shield goes down. He needs power. You need to build more power, dude. He's building some as we speak. He only needs essentially 1 more, I think. This one stays online. Okay, I think he's starting to sort his power out, but oof. Need E fast as Soul Ripper. Yeah, you do. And it's, I think, a 2v2 scenario. 2 disruptors versus a Hovatham. I couldn't remember the name for a second. And disruptor. But the shields are down around this disruptor. They come back online just in time. But that YOLO is going to be very deadly. It is going to be built around a lot of shielding, so that is going to help. Then another nuke is released here from Team 2's player, Matchery, going after this position. And it took out the SMD. There is no nuke protection. Another nuke has been launched. This one by Team 2's player of 1-0 Cat. This is going for this position. Team 1 is just getting nuclear bombarded right now. And that position will die. There is no SMD backups. And there's even strap bombers to just ensure its death. One of them dies en route, but there's a couple more on its way. The nuke will land. The bombs will land. Artillery lands, and that is a kill here from Team 2. Takes out a huge section of Team 1's offensive capabilities. There's really nothing else that they have. Soul Ripper's under shield coverage with some tele-defense. Don't see really any effort to do, well, much of anything. Soul Ripper was essentially the ace in the hole that they had, but they do have 1 Hovatham online, so they're not completely out of it just as of yet. We are at the 50-minute mark here in the game. And I think once Team 2 gets that Hovatham, once they get that YOLO online, that might just be game. Team 1 probably doesn't even know about it. Nope, they don't even know about it. So that's going to be very, very disheartening here for them. But Chickens here to the west, trying to hold off the land invasion. One of the Soul Rippers does go down. ASFs from 3 different players will come in and collide against Trigram. I think that's the last of his ASFs, though, because he doesn't really have an air grid left, so I think that's really the only... Well, I mean, there is an ASF presence here for Team 2 in the form of Matchery, but once these are all gone, I think that's it. Team 1 will have air control, and they're going to really suffer, though. Team 1 doesn't really have a lot of much anything left. So I think these are... No, these don't have any fuel left. That's why they're so slow. But man, ooh, that's got to hurt. Team 1 has clawed back their way in some form with air control. Not dominance, but control. The shields, oh, the shields pop right back on as I go to look at it. And Team 2 trying to hold on to this position here. Matchery building an additional disruptor. But a lot of effort will be put into this YOLO. Slowly being built, but slow and steady. We'll win the race eventually. Does look like Soul Ripper going to get back into the air game once again. Needs those P-Gens. He needs the ASF. We see just a bunch of experimentals in this game, kind of just roaming around the map here.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke is launched here by Team 2's player Matchery. This time going for this position. I mean, they're building a crab, but that's with a couple of mexes, and that's it. There's really not a whole lot up here. I feel like the nuke would have been better placed, well, somewhere else, essentially. That Hovatham is going to be built next to another one, so there'll be 2 here online here for Team 1 here soon. But I don't see, like a Maver would be great to see, or a Scathis, or, you know, another YOLO, or something to end the game. Team 1 not really focused on that. They're just bleeding too much. You know, the south side is just a thorn in their side. The nuke does land. Kaboom. Takes that position out. But, I mean, Team 2 is just going to sit in their base and just kind of hang out until they win, essentially. The YOLO will come online, and then that'll be it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a teleport in at some point, or a telemazer. But Team 1 does have air control for now, so... You know, that is an advantage that they have. There's another group of strap bombers built here by Matchery. Jeez. Move Artifier here. Yeah, he wants to deny the air control, which is probably smart because they are starting to make inroads in this position. But it's kind of being a little more difficult. We have Rascoms dying. But 2 chickens with a crab versus 2 crabs. It's starting not to look good here on the southern side. We have another crab just constantly they're so disjointed. There's no like one large blob. It's just a bunch of units kind of spread out, which has its own advantages, but it is going to take a while for Team 1 to crack this position. There's so many shields, and there'll be more built all the time, of course. They're trying to get back into the air game somehow, but it's going to take a minute, but they can get back into it with time. That second artillery is in the yellow, so at over 25% completed. Team 1, their air grid shields are going down. That's not looking good. Here they go. It's going to land. Oh, it takes out a section of them. They need to get something going in the air. We do have Team 2's air grid here for Hell Virus as well, so and he's getting a bigger one as we speak and trying to get it protected. He also has his own emissary. We have 3 artillery, soon to be 4 for Team 2, plus a YOLO. Team 1 only has a potential of 2. Actually, they have 2. And they're building just more power P-Gens. Probably will build a 3rd, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's just Team 1 is really struggling to just hold in there. They have their own nuke as well, but haven't used it as of yet. Crabs going down everywhere. ASF's skirmishing once in a while. Soul Ripper still online. 3 crabs now built here for the southern side against NY. NY really struggling to hold his position. Has been able to delay them for a while. Strap Bomber is going to be dealt with there. Does look like artillery is focusing the Hovathams here in the middle. The 3rd Hovatham being built needs more shielding. You need it now. Just you see all of the artillery just rain back and forth across the map. Look at that. Just constant firing non-stop. This crab will fall eventually. Full through gunships assisting some broadsword brethren. But the ASFs here for Team 1 really struggling to really either maintain control or really do a lot of damage. Team 2 has done a decent job of putting a decent amount of SAM sites around the position here for Matchery. But it does look like some artillery fire is starting to focus this position. Be very interested to see if they actually puncture it, though. The only issue is is that this thing is half done now, so Team 1 really needs to get their act going. They need to find it, which they haven't. Actually, that is Team 2. They can see it. They haven't pinged it yet, but they can see it. It is there. See, how's that? The Haveltham is being built really quickly, though. It's already in the green. It's going up really quickly. The shields are starting to buckle, though, so they need to really focus more on shield production and then switch back over. I get it. They have a land incursion inbound, but they need some protection with those artillery. It's a lot of mass devoted to this. We have broadswords on the way to help deal with these inbound units, but there's a lot of bouncers nearby, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to deal lasting damage on those forces until they take those out. Just back and forth with those artillery shells. They will not stop. Luckily here for the rest of Team 1, they can just build up more defenses. They're building a bunch of monkey lords. Again, oh, there it is. There's the Maver hologram. But I don't know if that's going to be built in time. Broadswords are almost dealt with dealing with the AA, and then they can deal with the crabs. The crabs are being macroed. They should be constantly pushing northward. How's that YOLO doing? The YOLO is not online as of yet. Looks, it's actually been stopped. They have to produce shields. They're struggling to keep those shields online. Back and forth, says Babel. Yep, that's back and forth. Chicken and a monkey. I thought the monkey was on its way. Oh, the monkey's just... Oh, the monkey's on its way. I see it. Chicken going to deal with a lot of these ground forces. The crabs will have to retreat. Team 1... just... Like, Team 2 gets a break. They push through, and then Team 1 is able to claw back claw back in this game. The shields are starting to fail, though. The Haveltham is exposed. More shields being built as we speak. Just barely, though. That one impacted the shield. Man. Team 1 really struggling to stay online. Shields, constant priority here for Team 2. Now they're focusing the YOLO, though. We're approaching 57 minutes. Not 57 minutes. We're at 57 minutes. Team 1, I mean, it is still a 4v4. Essentially, Johnny Jr., I think he had to go somewhere, which is why he's just kind of hanging out in the corner up here. But we have... This is interesting. What is this play? We have a couple of... What is these? Rambo comms? Maybe they're... Oh, I can't tell. Can't... Let me select... It won't let me select the units, but anyway... They'll load it up on a transport. Very interested to see what he does with that. Oh, I slowed it down. My apologies. Trying to click on Observer, and I'm like, oh, look, there's some Strat Bombers on their way once again. Why doesn't Team 2 have more AA? I don't know. This is like the 4th time they've done this. And the shields will save that SMD. Just barely, though. Another Strat Bomb attempt. The air grid is down. The emissary will fall here pretty soon. Shields are down as well. There, oh, that one shot I think will do it. Nope, it missed. Oh, there goes Cascade Explosion. Does kill an artillery. Team 1 is up. They have, well, it's 3v3 still. That YOLO is almost completed. Oh, it's going to be very close. Does Team 1 puncture the shields? But Team 1, they have a decent sized shield grid back online. Trying to defend the best they can. This is essentially Team 1's only way forward in this game is with this artillery. Unless they want to sacrifice a player to the Telemazer gods. But there's a scath that's been built. I didn't even notice this by 1-0 Cat, and that will definitely assist. YOLO's nearly ready. And here comes the Scathus impact. It's going to do a lot of damage to these shields. Ooh, that's got to hurt. There it goes. The shield, you can see it starting to buckle very heavily. Shield emitters going down as well. First volley very successful. I think a couple more volleys and this position is going to fall. Scathus says Team 1. Yep, there is a Scathus. And there's also a YOLO that's almost done. It is done, essentially. Scathus fire once again. There it goes. Takes a decent chunk of those shields down as well. Constant bombardment. Team 1 really needs to get back in this game with something, but they're not really making any effort to. They're protecting their eastern flank with a decent amount of SAM sites here for Team 2. This position is the main target, but that position will probably change here pretty soon. And there it goes. The shields are down. A couple of artillery shells are getting through. It's not looking good. They're building a fourth Hovertham as we speak. Shield emitters are trying to be replaced. Oh, I love the simultaneous firing of the Hoverthams, though. Doo-doo-doo. That's a nice little visual. Oh, there goes. The shields are down. Oh, Pigeon gets killed. One of the Hoverthams goes down. Two of them still online. Second one is down. Nuke goes off. Third one is half health. His Artie's dying. The game Soul Ripper Noob does, and his team do recall from this game. And Team 2 does win it. I mean, they were able to launch the YOLO as well. But I feel like, Matry did a very good job. He had so many strap bomber rushes that were very effective. He took out a couple of SMD, of course. Took out a player with him as well. 1-0 Cat was solid. He held this position for a very long time. Did not buckle at all. Was able to build a Scathis, open a hole for the other artillery to come in and just wipe out the Hoverthams here. We did have a nuke be launched here from Team 1, but don't know where that was going. Going over here, but again, Team 1, it was a good back and forth for a while, I feel like, but eventually I feel like Team 1 was kind of just aimless. They didn't have a goal they were going for. They were taking out the air grid, which was good, but they weren't really using that to their advantage once they took out the air grids. It was kind of just, we'll take them out and then not use air. So they couldn't capitalize on the gains that they were getting, and the Maver was nowhere near being completed. Didn't know where he was going with those transports, though. I don't see them anywhere. Yeah, I don't know where they went. But anyway, let me know how you feel about this game. I feel like the underrated player of the game was, I feel like 1-0 Cat, honestly. I feel like he really kept it going. Trigam did a really good job with his ASF for most of the game. That Awash doing a lot of work, but I feel like 1-0 Cat really just pulled it through at the very end, and just throughout the game, he was very solid. Got the Scathis, built, didn't even notice it. Apologies for that. Built the Scathis, opened the door, take out those shields, and then that was essentially what made Team 1 quit. Or recall, I should say, not quit. And of course, the YOLO definitely was going to assist with that. But I think underrated play of the game does go to 1-0 Cat. How do you feel about that? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know down in the comments about that. Like the video if you did. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button, would greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for watching. And I will see all of you in the next one.